And welcome back to PSA TV. This is the wake-up call here. Yesterday we would have seen developments at the San Fernando to Chaguanas taxi stand, wherein the taxi drivers were relocated from the top of High Street down to King's Wharf. Joining me on the line this morning, I've got the president of the TNT Taxi Drivers Network, Mr. Adrian Acosta. Good morning to you, Mr. Acosta. Hello?
Morning to you and the viewing public.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Just yesterday, we would have seen a measure coming into effect, something handed down from the San Fernando City Corporation, from the mayor, as a matter of fact, Mr. Junior Regrello. Just tell me a bit about how yesterday's proceedings ran in terms of the relocation.
Well, we started off yesterday morning on our usual taxi stand at the top of High Street. And at about 6 o'clock, the mayor and his entourage of officers came down and told us that if we didn't move our vehicles from any taxi stand, that they will proceed to wreck our vehicles or ticket us or even arrest us. Right, so we got together in a meeting, the guys that were there and myself, and the decision was made to remove our vehicles and go down to the wharf because we didn't want to get in any altercation with the law enforcement officers. Right, what also proceeded to happen is that every 10 or 12 minutes, there would be different changes pertaining to situations on High Street. One of the things that that happened yesterday is that we were removed from our taxi stand and sent down to the wharf, and the Curep taxi stand, which was behind our taxi stand, were brought up to apply their trade on our taxi stand. So we were asking the question, if you are saying that we were causing traffic on High Street, why would you have taken the Curep taxi stand and put it into the same place that we were applying our trade? So we were a bit puzzled yesterday morning. Yeah,
that to me, that logically speaking, it's not something that makes any kind of sense to me, because if you're saying that the reason for the relocation was because of traffic, now why move one set of taxi drivers and then you have another set? But that's just my opinion, of course. I was also told that the trial period has been cut down from 1 month to, I believe it's 2 weeks now?
Yes, ma'am. It has been, we received a second letter late last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday, saying that the trial period was reviewed and it was now brought down to 2 weeks. And that's what I'm saying, ma'am. From the start, from the get-go, that there was no proper consultation concerning this move. Yeah. We were called into one meeting and told that it was his proposal to put us down on the wharf. We had no intervention or no say in anything that was going to happen, so everything was done in a ad hoc manner. We are the ones who are going to suffer concerning that.
No, I would have spoken with some taxi drivers yesterday and even some passengers, many of whom expressed disappointment with that move from that relocation, in fact, and mainly so the passengers coming from Princestown. Because, I mean, when you drop out at the top of High Street, you now have to either take a taxi and walk down, or, you know, you either have to take a taxi or you have to walk down. So there were a lot of concerns with regards to that. How has your support been for, you know, in terms of your protest against this relocation? How has your support been?
At the end of the day, there is no taxi driver that wants to go down on that wharf, man. Right? Down there, we have said from the get-go, it's a dead zone. Nothing is happening down there. The only two entities that are surviving down there, ma'am, are the water taxi and the PTSC bus, because of the fact that the government pumps about $40 million into those two entities on a yearly basis to survive. Right? The taxi stands that were originally there, which is the Point and the Superior and the Penal Superior Maxis, they have moved out of that area and gone closer to the limelight, to the city area, in order to survive. They have been complaining for years concerning pH and a lot of illegal activities that have been going on down on that side. So finally, the mayor heard them and he moved them closer to the Point taxi stand, the Superior taxi stand, closer to the hospital, and the Penal and Sipariat Maxis went on St. James Street. And if you ask them why it is that they made the move, they will tell you the same reason why we don't want to go down there.
Yeah. And speaking about the water taxi and even PTSD down there, now with that relocation, would this now mean that passengers have, you know, the passengers who would usually probably travel with the taxis now, there are more options? Because I was told yesterday that, you know, it's kind of cutting back business for the taxi drivers themselves.
Yes, it will. There are people who would, once they are there, will try to go and filter into the bus service, anything. But I'm saying those entities are not really real, but that is why traveling public don't make a real fuss to travel with them. Most of the time, those buses are parked up in the highway, and you see people stand up outside waiting for transport. They are not working properly, and they're never on time, right? So that is why the traveling public don't necessarily use those entities. But I'm saying, again, that the decisions that are being made for us is really ridiculous, because these people are not on the ground. They don't work taxi. So they are making decisions based on what they feel will work. And we are turning out to be the scapegoats. We are turning out to be the guinea pigs to see if things will work or would not work. So who is going to pay our installments for our vehicle and our loans and all these things when this does not work out? The hardship. I was told yesterday by some of my drivers that they spend something like 4 hours to get a trip, right? And as I said in the earlier, there was no consultation, because most of the drivers are not going to come down on that wharf. They are going to try to break the law and ply their trade to the top of the high street. And the people are saying once they can get a vehicle to the top of the high street, they will not come down to that wharf.
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me most yesterday was the fact that there was a heavy police presence at the King's Wharf. Now, this is not something that we see every day. I know you all have been clamoring for a heavier police presence with regards to, you know, separating the PH drivers from the regular taxi drivers. You know, how do you feel about this?
As I told my membership, you know, for this 2 weeks, we are going to see everything is going to be put in place. Police, everything is going to be put in place to make this 2 weeks work, so that they can say at their review that things work well. We know how politicians operate, right? And at the end of the day, when the 2 weeks has passed, everything is going to, the ball is going to drop, and things are going to go back to the same way how it was. Because even when we was on High Street, we used to be complaining about the same issues, and nobody did anything about it, right? Nobody did anything about it. But now we can see, yesterday we saw the amount of police that we saw on High Street. It was amazing to us. We have never seen that amount of police anywhere in our life.
Oh, wow. Well, I do hope that that trend keeps up. Mr. Acosta, as we head to Independence Day celebrations later on this month, what is your hope for this nation?
The thought for this nation, ma'am, is that I hope that the people in authority use the power that God gave them to do good for the people, and not to victimize people when they speak out about bubble and corruption. Right? We have also hearing on the ground these days, we have also heard through the grapevine that, you know, where we were, that there are 2 major projects to start within the next few months.
Yes.
Right? One right where we were and one on the promenade side. So we don't know if all this that is going on is linked to those 2 major projects that is about to start. And I'm saying that also, the mayor has put us down on the wharf next to a building where they are saying they are going to start in a few weeks, that they may break down or they may go to do some serious renovation on it. Right? So when they start that renovation and they go to break down a building, where are you going to move us and put us after that?
Yeah, a lot of safety concerns there, of course. Not just for the taxi drivers, but for passengers as well.
We are also saying that you know, we need to when we're doing this kind of thing, we need to consult with people properly. Without proper consultation, nothing will work. Right? So at the end of the day, I hope that whatever measures that the mayor put in it is not for 2 weeks, and it will be there until things get worked out. Right? So.
All right. Well, Mr. Acosta, I want to thank you so much for lending me some of your time here this morning on PSA TV, just shedding some light into that development with regards to the relocation of the taxi stand that is the San Fernando to Chaguanas and San Fernando to Port of Spain taxi stand there this morning. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Same day.
All right, just a brief discussion there with the president of the TNT Taxi Drivers Network, Mr. Adrian Acosta. You know, the traveling public has always been whether we like it or not, sometimes the ones who suffer the consequences of misinformed decisions, and this is no different. Of course, you have the traveling public now. For those of you who may not know, San Fernando has always been an area with a lot of traffic. So according to Mr. Acosta, and yesterday I had the opportunity to speak with several taxi drivers as well, you know, just basically saying that you relocate these taxi drivers, but you bring in another group of taxi drivers. So, you know, it begs, there's a lot of questions, there are more questions than answers here. But before we head to news, we're gonna look briefly at some of the responses that the traveling public and even taxi drivers, how they are dealing with the relocation of that taxi stand. Let's take a look. San Fernando City Corporation Mayor Junior Regrello announced last week that there is a plan to move taxi drivers from the top of High Street down to King's Wharf. Now, you may or may not know that it's a long distance. It's also very poorly lit. We took to the streets today to find out what some taxi drivers and even passengers had to say about this move. So, let's take a look.
Basically, we had some views expressed to the mayor on some reconsultation, and he listened to us to some extent, and as it is today, well, you know, I think he break down the period of time. We got a notice concerning that, so it's just 2 weeks. We'll have a review in 2 weeks' time, depending on, you know, what we put forth in, because so far as it is, it's slower. Gentlemen, well, the rest of our colleagues already complaining about it, and we just had to wait and see. We're trying to comply. This morning was a bit slower because passengers were kind of confused too, and then the passengers that coming from like Princestown and Golconda, they are the ones that have the problem. They are the ones that really facing the problem right now, because right now they have to pay an extra $5 to go down by the wharf. Other than that, they have to walk, and you know the ladies, when they come out with the high heels, they really want to walk down High Street. So basically that is passengers complaining to that extent. He moved Port of Spain to San Fernando, and then this morning he moved Shogunas from their stand, which is in front of Republic Bank on top of High Street, and with that move he ended up bringing 3 up stand and put them on the same stand that he moved Shogunas from. So trying to understand what he's trying to do. If you say you want to eliminate traffic, or you could move a stand to bring our next busy stand. And again, if you go through Sando, we would like to meet you all, and at some point in time we just take a little drive through Sando. Taxis is really not the problem. That is just out of the question. So I don't know where is the mayor, where is his whole, you know. He alone know what he's doing, and we just had to comply, because for the first time in I work in about 14 years now, and the first time in about 14 years I see the amount of police we saw this morning was a shock to us, to police and wardens, to implement the move. And when we complaining for all these years, we complaining about private cars, we complaining about a lot of other stuff that interfering with our trade. We don't get that support from the police neither. So this morning was shocking, and we hope that they would keep it up. That's what we just hoping and to pray for right now.
And this morning was the first day for the trial on the wharf, and it wasn't good at all. Because I believe, well, a lot of passengers went to the location, to the top of High Street, and police was there, and they let them know no taxis can pick them up to the top of High Street, and they send them to the wharf. And I mean, time we reach on the wharf, we had the option, there are plenty of options. So time we reached there, it was like hard. I believe everybody, they went to the coach or the water taxi or whatever it's doing. So I believe that move will just finish taxi drivers, especially people who are installment and things to pay. It will be like hard. Where we were, on the promenade there, we wasn't causing no traffic because of the location and High Street. The only thing was the bank. Oh, the bank so close to us now, I guess that was part of the problem, but traffic-wise, we wasn't causing no traffic.
So are you saying now that the taxi stand should stay where it is?
No.
No, I mean as in originally in High Street.
Yeah, that would be much better if it stay where it is.
The move, we have to see how it go work out. The mayor said 14 days. If it being victorious, we continue doing what we're doing. Or if not, we go back to square one. That's about it.
But do you think that would really alleviate traffic in San Fernando?
No. No. What will happen is that eventually they will see it's not the taxis that is encouraging the traffic. It's majority of the hustle and bustle through school time and the regular busy time, peak hours. So at the end of the day, they just start bringing a lot of foreign news, okay?
The mayor of San Fernando has relocated the taxi stand from High Street to Kings Wharf.
Yes.
Now, that's a long distance. So it's pretty unsafe. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you should reconsider because down by the wharf, that will encourage a lot of criminal activities, and there's a lot been going on now, and you see what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So he should reconsider his decision to move it. That's what I have to say.
How does that make you now feel in terms of the distance you now have to walk because of the relocation from the taxi stand? What are your thoughts on that?
It's a little too much walk, right? Plus the kids and them, it will be a little more stress on us, right? So as the guy said earlier, reconsider it will really be nice.
Now the mayor has moved the taxi stand from High Street to down to Kings Wharf. I mean, I'm from South, so I know that's a good distance. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good distance, but sometimes the ignorant taxi drivers, them just cause that on the surf, they was fighting and all of that. So it's their problem that they caused that to happen to go down there.
The mayor said that it was supposed to be a measure to alleviate traffic. Do you think that that's even like an option?
San Fernando is a big traffic by itself. I don't know what to say about the traffic, but it will have traffic when school open, because on the promenade they have schools that parents understand park in front of the school to get their children and they doesn't study other cars coming up the road. So they have to go through the phrase, but they themselves cause it to happen.
And you personally, now that where you headed?
Similar.
Right, so Princeton basically.
Yeah.
So now that's a longer distance for you to, when you come down to San Fernando, to probably pay money to go down
to
to
go
the
back
wharf.
up the road, yeah. All that I said.
And your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I feel I have to go through the phase to see how it will work, and then I'll see what will be the outcome.
Up to the corner, but it'll be so congested when you go there, And then it has some of the drivers so embarrassing, to be honest with you. There's a Rasta man, wow, who drive a H. Ooh, very embarrassing.
So what you're saying is that this taxi stand was there once?
Yeah, it was there already. To be honest with you, it was there already. So it was not like nothing, Honest, it was there already. I used to take transit from the community Port of Spain. And I can't remember exactly what year, but it was there already. The police service need to send a little much more police down there to protect and serve the people.
Right.
So that move down on the wharf from there, drivers against it, yes. But we Trinidadians not too keen for change, right? But when we went to the consultation, what we saw is something for the future. In 3 years, 2-3 years from now, taxi drivers working in San Fernando Port of Spain will benefit tremendously.
Okay, so what you're saying is, it should not be done right now, but in the next 3 years.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, okay, they put us down there now, work with the mayor, work with the city, it's going to work. Right? In the long run, so that's what we're doing right now. We're working with the mayor, the move, and they put us there, and in the long run, we will benefit.